Right at it. Right at it. Oh, he's done it again. Just as he did at the John Deere for his first win.
Welcome in to episode 77 of the Go Get That podcast. A little players recap here for you guys. We're recording this on Monday, March the 13th. Beautiful Monday. I hope you are all enjoying your Mondays. Scottie Scheffler.
When it drops, but
Tuesday. Well, I hope you enjoyed your Monday. A little past tense there. What a high quality intro. Kind of matches the high quality drama that we had on Sunday evening.
Would agree.
Players. Mr. Scheffler ran away with it, winning by six, which is quite incredible. So he had a great week. Jordan had a great week. Wouldn't say great. He had a pretty good week as well. We'll get into all that. Bet standings have changed, but it's good to see you boys. We got a couple more weeks here, and the Masters is coming up pretty soon. So I'm excited to get down to it today.
I thought you toot your own horn, but congrats to Mr. Olson on the first.
It's better when other people toot.
Congrats on the first outright of the year. We were kind of desperate. We didn't hit many outrights last year. It's nice to, I
think we matched last year's total already.
Yes, I think. I know my camera just died, but I do know that there were people calling us the new Elises on Twitter, and we don't want to go that far.
Were they saying that?
I know that we were getting a lot of hype for our first outright of the year. I know that everyone won tons of money on it, but we have to kind of dial it back maybe for this week, but yeah.
It's funny too. Just for those that might be telling us, like the first week where we were given 200 points. I mean, one of us hits an outright. I'm not saying we're gonna hit an outright at the Masters, but you got a smaller field coming up at Augusta. We get 200 points to play with again. You never know. So.
Well, thankfully, it's safe to say that we will all be hitting outrights at Augusta because we will all have Jay Spieth in the cards.
Yeah.
Seems very
That's
possible.
well said. It is much easier when you have more points.
Yeah.
Right. Like it makes.
I would disagree, kind of.
Really?
To hit an outright, yes. To profit, I think it's just as hard.
I'd agree with that. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So, one 200-point event, one outright. So, props to Scheffler for winning his sixth event in like 13 months or something crazy like that. He's on an absolute tear, world number 1, rightfully so. I believe he's still data golf number 2. Is that correct?
Yes, Rahm is still 1 in the DG
which
ranking.
Is insane to think about. And I think rightfully so. I think that like statistically, strokes gained wise, Rahm has been better. But
if I can interrupt you for a second, Mr. Rahm is up by 0.01 on data golf.
Okay.
They're about even.
Yeah, Mr. Scheffler has made a charge to get Rahm, but they're clear of everybody. Like Rory's pretty far back, Cantlay's back there as well. So, it's kind of fun to see them trade events like this in a way. Like they've already got a combined 5 wins in 2023, and it's mid-March. It'd be nice to see a certain someone kind of wiggle his way into the conversation. No, I'm not talking about Patrick Cantlay, but I know it's disappointing, but certainly some signs this week because we'll talk about that certain someone now. Why not?
Well, I have my thoughts on the week as a whole. First off, just in terms of like players in general, I mean, there's a clear top 2 in the world right now. We all know that. We all know that they're in a league of their own. I know I was one that believed Scottie's run kind of ended at the end of last year. I didn't think that it was going to bleed into this year. I was unfortunately terribly wrong, as he's already picked off 2 events and he's coming up on a bunch of golf courses that he plays very well. A few people were messaging me about how, well, this is like a mini historic run for Scottie, and I'd agree, but at the same time, I think we need to halt on the Scottie Spieth all-time comparisons, please. I've seen a few of those. I've seen a few of Scottie is who Jordan supposed to be. That's a no thanks from me, but he's gonna need to win a few more majors to that first. And I think the thing that everyone's like is, well, Collins picked off 2 really quickly. Why can't Scottie pick up 2 in the next 2 years? Well, winning 2 majors is very hard to do, regardless of how well you are in the world, playing in the world. And I would argue, as well as Scottie's playing, he's still not even the favorite for the Masters. So like winning
in
a major
terms of what, the betting odds, or
I still think I'd take Rahm over him personally. I don't know
that's
what the odds
fair.
are,
That's fair.
I think that like to say that he's cruising to all these. I mean, majors are very hard to win. There is a chance. I don't know what the odds would be on this, but I think it would be close. I don't think it would be too poorly in favor of no, but there's a chance that Scottie and Rahm both win no majors this year. Like there's only 4 majors to win.
Yeah.
I fully agree with that.
And anything can happen. And I think that a lot of conclusions are being jumped to, but some of them are deserved. This is a really incredible run by Scottie, so congrats to him. Congrats to his luck. I'll leave it.
That's tough. I mean, to your point though, Rahm is still on 1 major, which is
Yes.
like pretty like
And
unbelievable.
so is Scottie.
To say that, I think if you were to give me odds on if either one of them would win a major this year, I'd probably take those odds. Especially just because they both hit it long, and that, I mean, there's certain, like, I assume LACC you're just gonna have to hit it long, and I assume Oak Hill will probably be fairly similar, and both of them can win at Augusta, so that helps the case. But yeah, Scottie's just, I mean, you mentioned like Collins got 2. I mean, Scottie's a better golfer than Colin. I hate to say it. I think Colin just picked the spots really well. But I mean, Scottie's just so money tee to green. And even Colin, like, I mean, first of all, Colin isn't near where Scottie is off the tee. And when it comes to the iron play, I mean, I think Scottie's, his floor is probably higher. I don't know, but congrats to Mr. Scheffler for running away with it this week.
It was impressive.
Impressive what he is doing, the last 15, 16 months.
Yeah. I would agree with that. It's very impressive. And to say the least, it's nice that Mr. Spieth, Jordan brought this up earlier about Rahm, but it's nice that Mr. Spieth is kind of working out his kinks while these two are just absolutely dominating the sport right now. Hopefully after the Masters, after Spieth wins, everything will kind of cool down. We'll be back to normal. I'm so sick of seeing 3 people every tournament in 3 digits for the betting odds. It's so annoying. Every week it's Rahm 600, Scottie 850, Rory 950, and it's just like, come on, like they're and Rory is not on the level that they are by any means. In fact, Rory has taken quite the step back recently, in my opinion. But still, it's clear that there are a few names that are completely dominating the sport, and that's something we hadn't seen in recent years. This is a level of dominance by these two that hasn't been seen very many times in the sport. It's a rare thing to see. It's a rare thing to see people go on these tears of winning 3, 4, 5, 6 tournaments in a year. It could happen this year. We saw it with Spieth in 2015, Scottie last year, but like it's rare.
Yeah, it really is. And to have them do it at the same time, I think, is what's fascinating about it. We've had 3 massive events this year. Riv, Phoenix, the Players, and all 3 of those were won by either Scottie or Rahm, right? So Scottie took the Players, he took Phoenix. Rahm took Riv, and if you want to chuck the 4th biggest one in there, maybe the Century, in terms of just like
it's elevated, so yeah,
prestige, Rahm won that one too. So it's been quite the stretch for those guys. Rahm, is interesting, right? Because he had to withdraw with the stomach bug, is the word on the street. We'll see. He'll be a match play for sure. Obviously that's when we'll see Scottie next, and he'll be defending as well. But a few good names here in this Valspar field coming up that we'll discuss tomorrow as well. But it's
the one that comes to mind is Justin Suh. So just wanted to put that out there.
Respect it. But
get a Suh outright ticket while you can. Anyway,
I would agree. He might be on my card. I don't know. I really don't know what I'm going to do, but I definitely.
I want to discuss Mr. Spieth though. I think
absolutely.
we have Mr. Scheffler, you're great. This is a Spieth primarily broadcast. Mr. Spieth with his best finish at TPC Saga. If we would have started this podcast in 2014, we would currently be recapping his best performance in 9 years.
No.
So great.
Quite the accomplishment. Congrats.
Congrats to Mr. Spieth. You know, he alluded to it in his press conference on Sunday. A top 25 at TPC Sawgrass feels like a win anywhere else. And I think it's like the three of us would probably agree with that. You know, Dan kind of said it. We're probably all three going to bet him at Augusta. And, you know, this was another good step in the right direction to, you know,
absolutely
getting towards what Scottie, Rahm, and Rory all do, and that's play consistent golf. You know, top 20ing, Scottie's top 10ing like every week. But I mean, if Spieth can just start top 20ing every week, you continue to be consistent. And, you know, on Sundays, especially, you know, we'll be talking about the Valspar tomorrow. Got a weak field, or probably a really good chance to, you know, maybe put yourself in contention come Sunday. And, you know, Jordan has 2 consecutive good results under his belt now, which is nice to see.
Yeah, I want to start with kind of there's sort of an asterisk on this week for a couple reasons. Not for Scottie's win, but just for like Spieth's play in general. One, he should not have played Saturday and Sunday. That was the most brutally lucky break I think I've ever seen.
Filling break. Hopefully we can get that guy on the podcast sometime.
Yeah, no, that would be something. 2, he did not miss inside of 5 feet. He did not 3-putt.
Round of applause. Round of applause.
He shot a bogey-free 66 on Saturday when it was easy. Like the course was playing easy, but he did it. Like there were a lot of really good positives. The iron play remained strong. Gained with the putter all week. Short game kind of cost him. I think he got a couple. I mean, just despite the really lucky break on 9 on Friday, I think he got like boned a couple times. Like there were just some bad breaks throughout the week. Where it's Spieth kind of called. He's like, you just get sawgrassed. Like you just get put in a bad spot.
We call that the not getting Schefflered. Scottie Scheffler did not get sawgrassed at all this week.
I don't know.
I mean, perfect example though. I mean, we can go. The boys didn't necessarily agree with me at the time.
I have a feeling you're going to go to the.
Oh yeah.
The
we're going to go straight to 14 actually, where Mr. Spieth found a bush off.
Oh, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
but it was the 5th hole, so yeah.
Well, I'm talking 14. Well, 5th hole of the day. Is that what you're talking
that's
about?
what I meant. That's what.
Yeah, so I mean, 14. You know, Jordan hits into a bush, and he gets unlucky, and he makes double. And you know, if it doesn't find the bush, like Mr. Scheffler on Sunday, who hit it in the same spot, just didn't happen to find a bush. He makes bogey, and Jordan makes double. That's a stroke right there.
Yeah.
Yes.
On two on Friday, if he's in the bunker instead of that weird
pissed me off
whip, he's probably making 5 at the max, right? Probably inside of 10 feet for 4.
If you have 210 yards with an iron from the middle of the fairway and you hit it to 30 feet, unless you're hitting it into a water hazard that is cut near the green, you should not be getting rewarded with what happened on 2. I just don't. If you hit an iron from 210 to 30 feet, you should be getting rewarded. And instead, Jordan makes 6 because of the way this I like 1 par 5 on this course, and that's 16. I think the other 3, I mean, Bob agrees with me on this. 9 being lengthened.
9 is an all-time bad golf hole.
2, I just, again,
Seems gimmicky.
If you hit an iron from 210 yards at 30 feet, you should be getting rewarded. Instead, Jordan is in an awful spot. Dan and I were talking about this, and we disagreed on it. He definitely could have made 5 if he just would have not played as aggressive. But still, I mean, if you hit it to 30 feet, you should probably be making birdie more times than not if you don't get unlucky.
No, I'd agree. And so some things like that were just kind of both detrimental to the score, but then also, kind of ruined some momentum. Even Sunday, I thought he played pretty well. He just didn't get up and down from the bunker twice on par fives. Didn't really make anything. Had some like weird wind flips. It was just a weird day. Friday and Sunday specifically, there were just some not great breaks. But aside from that, he played really well. He continued to putt well. He continued to make putts that he should make, which has to, give Spieth fans or even Spieth and his camp, especially, a lot of confidence going into not only the Valspar but match play and the Masters as well.
No, yeah, I've been talking, and I'll give my thoughts on Spieth this week in a second, but I've been talking to everyone about how, like, you win the match play by making putts like he has been the past 2 weeks, grinding out 10-foot. I mean, we saw something on Thursday that we have not seen in a very long time, and that was consistently hitting perfect putts to save par, making them rolling an 8-footer after 8-footer early in that round. That's not going to happen every round, but the stroke was so good this week. It was ridiculous. I mean, the stroke was so confident. Every miss was 2.5 feet past the hole. It was perfect.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the stroke this week. He had a few, but there are some putts that you have to respect, which is fine. But I did this write-up for my subscribers. One of the new things I did, I did like a write-up on the week, and I had 2 positives and 2 negatives for the week, and one of them obviously is Mr. Putter. The other one's iron play. I think that the iron play has really been consistent recently. I really like the way that's going. And my negatives for the week were off the tee and par 5 scoring. The par 5 scoring was pretty pathetic this week.
Yeah.
2 is one of the easiest par 5s on tour, and he played in +1.
Really?
Wow. So
I think long term, I think he came into the week like really high in par 5 scoring. So I'm not.
Yes, he had been better, but the past few weeks it's dropped off.
It was, I think, to the 2 negatives are kind of correlated as well, because especially with the rough being up, you couldn't really get it into great spots if you missed the fairway. And on 2 especially, he only hit the fairway once, and then he
made 6.
Slightly pulled the long iron and made 6, right? So it's like, just that stuff should return to the norm. 9 was, he played pretty well in the end, but that was also kind of weird. 11, he played not very well. Didn't hit the fairways over there. I'm trying to think. 16, it's fine. I mean, he didn't hit it in the water on 16, so that's
a plus.
I mean, he played the par 5s and 5 under for the week, but he also made a pretty fluke eagle on 9.
We take the eagle though.
Oh,
yeah, the eagle was.
I will take the eagle as well.
Fantastic.
Thanks, by the way, to the PGA Tour for posting that he chipped in for eagle to make the cut when he made the cut by 3 shots or 2 shots or whatever it was. He only needed birdie, so thanks for that. But regardless,
it was good. No, I actually this morning I was, updating. I was refreshing Data Golf this Monday morning to see like the updated numbers. Jordan Spieth over his last 4 tournaments, the Players, API, Genesis, and Waste Management Phoenix Open, has gained 19 shots on approach. Like, he's racking them up.
That'll do.
Huh? What'd you say?
I said that'll do.
That will do. Mr. Scheffler's gained 26, so Spieth's a little behind Mr. Scheffler, but 19 shots last 4 events he's gained on approach. So he
gained 5 almost this tournament, right?
5.2. Yeah.
Well, 5.2 tee to green.
No, 5.2 on approach.
I see 4.4. I have 5.2 tee to green.
Well, Jordan,
the PGA Tour app's different than Data Golf. So.
Oh yeah, I have PGA Tour app.
Gotcha. They differ in the way they do their strokes gained stuff. So my 16, I said 16 or 19. 19, right? My 19 number is probably a little bit lower on the PGA Tour app.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's good. I think we can agree on that.
I will take it.
That's that's just under, that's over 4 per tournament, which means that's about one a round, and that's how you win tournaments. That's how you win anything from the John Deere to the Masters. It doesn't matter. If you hit, if you're gaining a shot on the field on approach, you're going to be doing quite well. And then especially when he's positive with the putter, like that's a great combination. I'm not sure where the driver went. It kind of disappeared a little bit Sunday at API, and then let him down a little bit this week as well. I think he lost he probably had 4 like really bad drives that cost him six shots maybe.
Yeah.
And that happens at Sawgrass, right? But all 4 of them were pretty awful. Like the floor was not very high, but so I'm sure he mentioned it, so he's aware. But that would be something to look for, some improvement. We may not see it at Valspar, and we'll talk about Valspar tomorrow just because that course is a little bit different, but would like to see a little bit of a better trend in that area leading to Augusta. But honestly, like, speaking of trends, I mean, like 2 weeks ago, I came on and said, we need some results now, and we've got a T4 and a T19.
I would consider those results.
Those are results.
Yeah,
well, I have it in my thing, 2 for 2 so far.
Thank you for that.
And he's starting to fit trends of like people who win majors in those years, they play well leading into the majors. Big surprise there, right? But Spieth wasn't just going to like snap out of it at Augusta and win.
No.
Oh, he's putting himself in a spot, and specifically his game in a spot where he can contend and he can win any given week. That's kind of the level that he's approaching right now, and it should be a really fun run. These next couple months, right? We'll see. I think he's starting to feel it. I talked to Jordan a little bit because there was a great photo of Greller that came out in the sunlight on Tuesday, maybe Wednesday.
Oh, that was a chilling photo. I can
confirm. And I think Michael does it at the majors and things like that, but I think like Michael kind of knows. I should call him Greller. Calling him Michael feels weird. Greller knows that Spieth.
Unfortunately, we're not on that level yet with him.
Yeah, I think Greller knows that Spieth is playing well. I think you can see that. I think that there's just a like confidence around that whole team.
They've been together for like so long where I think you're right. Michael gets like a sense of where Jordan's like at what he's capable of. Yeah.
And I think it's all like really close to being really, really good. So a bunch of positives, obviously a couple negatives, as Bob mentioned, which by the way, those are very accurate negatives, Bob. I appreciate your insight.
But as probably the most negative one in the group, this was a very positive week overall.
Yeah. 100%.
This was the second straight week where I was happy with the putter, which hasn't happened in a long time. I mean, there is no denying that what we've seen the past 2 weeks with the putter is what we've been looking for 2.5 years. Like just a little conviction in the stroke, and he's finally got that. And it's so clear in the putts. They don't have to all fall, but you can tell a good putt versus a bad putt based on how his body language. All of the putts are being close to the hole, which was not the case recently. It's just the putts are very good. So this is a step in the right direction on all sorts. I mean, I guess besides off the tee. Off the tee's been rough recently, but it'll get better.
Well, it's rough, but it's not even. I think it's mostly that he's just hitting not good tee shots at bad moments.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say it's been all that bad, except for the not good ones just find bad spots.
I still think he's hitting bad drives though right now.
Oh, for sure. I didn't say he's hitting great drives. I just said I think it's like he's not. I don't know. He's not at the level that he was at, and the level that he was at was like a top 15 driver of the golf ball.
That's accurate.
And now it's like average. And if that's the complaint,
the floor, I mean, if the floor is average with the driver, we're looking pretty good. But I have a thing on the putter and a thing on the driving of the golf ball. The putter, I mean, it was impressive. These greens were quick at Sawgrass. I felt every single putt, if it didn't go in, as Bob said, was close. Like he wasn't hitting them 5-6 feet by like Keith Mitchell did on the 18th hole to lose me my top 30 bet. But yeah, the speed was great. It was really good. And then I was talking to a follower who's like, it's nice not seeing the early walks. And then I replied, like, he was walking in or early walking more putts that went in that missed. I mean, he was walking in more putts that he thought were going to miss, and they ended up going in and walking after putts that actually missed. If you get what I'm saying there, which is a really good sign. And then with the driver, I think another thing that Sawgrass kind of showed with the wind, if you weren't hitting it great and you add in the wind, it was going further offline, the worse the strike was off the tee. So that obviously didn't help. And I thought it was pretty interesting listening to it because he spoke like after every round, which is kind of uncommon for him, partially just because he has been playing, great golf. So they haven't really wanted to talk to him. But he spoke after every round this week. And on Sunday, he was like explaining, like, I just do not have the patience here, which was really an interesting listen. He talked about Sunday, 11, where he has no sand in the bunker, hits it out to 15 feet, makes par. Bad par at 11. He goes to 12, rips off the head cover, and he's like, I'm going to start this driver at the left edge of the green and just try and turn it over and make birdie the easy way by hitting the green with the driver. And he's like, that's just stuff I do here every single year because he just doesn't have the patience to play the golf course, which isn't it's unacceptable, but it's just interesting insight. Like when he talks, there's so many dudes on the PGA Tour that provide like nothing and are boring.
Yeah.
Again, like Spieth brings so much to the table every time he talks to the media.
I agree.
100%. Quick thought about the putter, and then something on approach as well. The putter, like, I think the thing that I enjoy the most is that it seems like he's getting into the same setup and same forward press every time. It's much more consistent in that sense. Obviously he looks a little bit flatter. The putter just looks a little bit more locked, a little bit more rigid, and he talked about that. That good putters are a bit handsy. Like Tiger always was a little bit handsy, but they need to have the mechanics to allow the hands to take over and make the 35 footers. But when you're inside of 5 feet, there's no need to hands it. Just start at left center or right center, wherever it may be, and hit it on that line. So that looks really nice to me.
Yeah.
I also thought the scoring wedges were a lot better. Anything inside of like 120, I felt like had a pretty good chance of going inside 15 feet, which is good. And that was something that I thought would come around because it's a lot of feel, right? It's a lot of tempo and just kind of how, feeling where it is at the back as you take it back. So it's good to see progress in that area and kind of, confirm some of my beliefs, or just gives me more confidence going forward that he's going to be able to score really well when he has scoring wedges in his hand, which is what you would expect the top player to do. It's just another sign of good golf being played and things trending in the right direction.
Yeah, I'd agree with that as well. One thing I want to say about the putter is that you can kind of tell like he's bending down a lot more. I feel like he used to stand a lot more straight up, which is fine. I mean, I don't care. That's just one observation I had. It seems like he's really working on like drills on the putting green, like actual like drills, not just practicing one thing, like whether it's putting that thing on his back like he had.
It's a lot.
That's good to see. That shows that he like notices the problem, and that's all we kind of asked for recently. So
I think I'd appreciate, come Augusta if we're not doing that stuff though, just because I mean, like especially on those green, it's so much feel. I think like what he's doing right now is like perfect though, because obviously there was some technical stuff that was wrong. He actually said
be ready for Augusta.
Yeah, I fully believe so. But he mentioned like he's more hunched over. It's more of just a feel for him, he said. It's a left elbow feel. He's all about these feels.
Yes.
Even with the putter, he's like, it helps his left elbow get in a better position where it's more stable. And he, as kind of Dan said, less handsy with the 5 footers. It's good to be handsy, but with 5 footers, there's just not as much need to be. But he just seems like the confidence is oozing, and kind of what Dan said with Greller. Like I think Michael like gets a sense that like if we enter a week like Valspar, and I was thinking about this earlier, like could he win Valspar? Absolutely. I think that would just be the start, to be quite honest. Who's saying Jordan Spieth can't go on a run? He just needs one to get started, just like
And
Scottie Scheffler did.
the funniest thing is like this is not where we were a month ago at all.
We were trying stuff differently, as you alluded to.
Yes, like, I just said all I asked for him to try something differently. He's too talented. If he tries enough things, something's gonna work. He's got too much God-given talent to not.
I don't know if he's trying something different. I think it's just.
I think he is.
He went back to mechanics,
like the hunched over stuff, like the backpack.
Dude, that's
thing
not.
on the
That's not.
screen.
I don't know if
we've never seen that though. Like
it's different, but I don't think it's.
It's trying something new that.
To put the word "trying" on it seems weird to me though, because he's not like. It's not new. That's the basics of putting.
But he's
like that's a putting drill that hundreds.
He's never hunched over
all
like
the time.
he has now.
Right, but I don't think that
I'd consider that trying. I see where you're coming from, Dan, but I'd consider that trying.
Right.
I consider that trying.
I just don't think I just think it's new in the sense that it's something that he should be doing every week. I don't care if he does it at Augusta. Not do those drills on those greens. Make 5-footers. Like if you're
that's what's new. He's making 5-footers. That's what's
you'll
new.
let the rest of it go, And I think like he's probably been doing that. I felt like when I read his presser, maybe Saturday or Sunday, somebody mentioned like he seemed a little bit more hunched over. And it's the way he like talked about it. It made me think that he had been working on it for a little bit and just didn't feel comfortable like putting it into play yet. I might have to go back and read it again, but that was that's kind of where my sentiment is coming from here. Like it makes me think he was working on it behind the scenes and just didn't trust it.
You know what? That's actually an interesting thought, especially because like it started last week at API where he started to putt well. Maybe he's like on these POA greens, I just don't trust it. That's definitely possible.
Could be.
Maybe he also looked at the 2.8 strokes putting he lost to Genesis and said, "I'm done with this." And
and he had a week off, or a week off, right? He wasn't playing, so he had some time to figure some stuff out there, which it's nice. I mean, I feel a lot better watching him putt now, for sure. I don't think you can
the confidence is higher as a fan, I'd say too.
It's oozing. I love that word. But the cockiness in his step is sick to see.
Yeah, it certainly is. And I think part of that, to me, looking back and also even in the moment, 2021, the swing felt like a Band-Aid. Like what they were doing, getting the club more laid off, seemed more like a bandage of like, all right, we're gonna overdo the things that you did so wrong for 3 years, basically, with the swing. We're gonna overdo that, and you're gonna start hitting the ball better, and we're just gonna kind of put a bandage on it because we need to we can't get back to being who you were at your best without like healing the wound first. So 2021 felt like a bandage. 2022 seemed like there was progress. He hit the ball really well last year.
2022 was like an infection after the wound had started to heal, but then it got reinfected.
But not, I'm more so with the swing. Like the game, whatever. The putter was awful. But now it seems like the swing's at a spot where
I agree.
It's like where they want it to be. Like this isn't the banner. This isn't healed, And maybe that's just me being overly optimistic, but it looks a lot more like it did I think he mentioned in like 2017. It looks like that. He said it feels like that. And it just it might look a tiny bit different just because his body is different. Like he's bigger and stronger than he was then. So we keep talking about confidence and stuff like that, but that's just kind of my analogy for it.
It's fun for us too. Like it's a lot more fun looking forward to a tournament when you're like, well, he's really at a good spot in his game right now. He could really win. Like last week, I thought he had a chance to win, which is not something I've said at the Players in a long time. So
ever.
Never. And to be frank, he probably didn't have a chance to win. But I will stand by the fact that I do think he will be a Players champion at some point in his career.
After Thursday, he had a chance.
It'll be a fluke win.
20 holes.
I would agree
there.
20 holes.
But we're there.
better than most tournaments.
Better than most.
But what did you guys think of the way 17
Which happened on the 17th hole, by the way, if you didn't know.
What were you saying, Dan?
It did. Bob, Spieth had that like wiggle putt and it almost went in. Oh,
He played 17 and 18 really well.
But
Wow, that joke went right over everyone's head.
Yeah,
Nice
I went
to
right
see.
over that. That was a good one.
Thank you.
I did not know that better than most happened on 17, but I do now. So thank you.
There it goes.
But what do you guys think of 17 on Sunday? I thought it was awesome.
It was fun, but it's just a shame that Scottie was just so far ahead that it kind of, deflated everything.
Oh, by the way, I know I hate on the 17th hole for being like a really gimmicky hole, but my favorite pin, maybe on tour, is that back pin where that first bounce hops into the water. It's amazing.
It is
an amazingly cruel pin. I love that.
Not for Chad Ramey. It wasn't fun.
It was
Chad Ramey, man.
It
was kind of a tough. We've talked about how like the elevated events have been really good for the tour because they get the winners that they want and they get people up near the top of the leaderboard that they want. This one, the leaderboard was a little bit tougher from that perspective. Obviously, you get Scheffler, who is the reigning player of the year, winning the Players, but and some good stories. Minwoo Lee is a cool story. He's a good player, actually. I think he'll be around at Augusta because he's played well there before. So, that is if he's qualified for Augusta. I think he should be. But
research.
Like Minwoo Lee's a cool story. Tom Hoagie making the cut on the number and shooting course record on Saturday is pretty cool.
Tom no bogey Hoagie.
Yeah, exactly. But to not get like
Tom Hoagie,
another name up there, it kind of found its water. Homa made a Sunday run, Hatton. Like you got good names up there eventually, but Scheffler was gone and had two hands on the gold boy basically on the back nine. So
he was dripping in gold, some would say.
Yes, he was.
Dripping in gold.
Man. Just to clarify, Minwoo is not in the Masters.
Wow. That sucks.
Yeah.
It does.
Well, hold on a second. The list was updated on the 6th. So let's see. He needs to be top 50 in the world. He's 45th. Yeah. So the Masters, the thing is, he's in, but he's not. So he has to hold on to the world ranking for 2 more weeks.
True, but he'll be at the match play?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd assume so. He just got to hold on, though.
Wait, but does he qualify for the match play?
Yeah, top 70-ish make it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's OWGR based?
Yeah,
but then there's the live players and the skips, so it would probably get up to 80 almost.
Okay. Yeah,
so congrats to Minwoo for putting himself in position to now make the Masters.
Yeah. So
something that someone was not able to do this week.
Hey, he got closer, Mr. Fowler.
Ricky continues to play pretty decent golf.
He does, but he's gonna need quite the stretch. He needs he needs to make it to like the Elite 8, I think, in the match play to make it.
He's not playing this week either. Which is shocking.
Elise and I were talking about that, how it is absolutely ridiculous. You would think if you're trying to make the Masters, you would literally try everything in your power to do so. And he took Honda off, and now he's taking this week off.
Yeah. And I get playing, you don't want to play too much and then not get in and then have to play Valero. But Valero, you need to win Valero. You have a better shot of getting like a T8 at Valspar. And this, it's the field's come out. It's decent, but it's not great. It's pretty top. It's pretty top heavy.
It sucks.
Not even. I
mean, if we're looking from Spieth's point of view, the only field that'll be worse is the Byron Nelson this year.
Yeah.
Right? So,
I guess that's true. So it's a bad field.
The 5th major,
and Ricky's not there.
It makes
sense.
If Minwoo's in the field, is Minwoo playing this week?
I don't think so.
Interesting. What are these guys doing?
Well, I think Minwoo probably feels safe. He knows.
Yeah.
Because he probably doesn't have much that's going to drop off his thing anyway.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, so he has a reason. He's at 45. Ricky's at 59.
Yeah. And Minwoo just needs to hold on 2 weeks. Ricky's at 59 and he's not here.
Correct.
Oh my God. All did a top 5 and you're through.
That would be something as a fan though, if that was Spieth, I'd be furious.
Yeah. What
are you doing?
Yeah, I don't Yeah, I don't know what Mr. I mean, if he plays well at match play,
But
it
it's
doesn't
still,
matter.
dude, like in match play,
Spieth might be able to end his Masters hopes.
Like if you get to he has to get to the Elite Eight, and that's like so one loss,
Right?
And you're banking it on winning matches, like a few matches. You have to win every single one for a few rounds. Like it's quite the thing to bank it on.
Especially for a guy who he's hitting the ball well, but the putter has been up and down. And to win, like you said, to get out of your group, you have to win at least 2 and probably have another.
How many times has Ricky got out of his group?
So
it's
like, does he even have the greatest course history yet? I'm gonna look at that.
He's got he had a third in 2014, round of 16 and 15. He's made it to the Elite 8 one time.
Okay, so
Congrats.
And 6
I don't know, man. That's interesting, but we'll see.
Spieth could eliminate his Masters hopes.
How so?
Because if they're drawn in the same bracket,
oh yes,
Spieth beat him.
That would be chills.
That would be chills. Oh, that's the other good thing is I was thinking about this. It's not like a big deal, but
Bob tracking. We have to eliminated Ricky from the Masters. That'd be
But
horrible.
I would be all over that too. Like
I know you would.
over that.
But Spieth getting back up to like 14, I think in the OWGR is big because it's basically locked him into the 1 seed in his pool. And for a moment there, he slipped outside it, I think. So he could have been paired up with a Scheffler or a Rahm or Rory or something just by bad luck. So, or a Homa, somebody like that. But I think Homa's going to win match play. I'll say that now, and I'll stick with it later. But
it makes sense considering like everyone I bet was always like the week after. Case in point with Scheffler this week.
Yeah,
congratulations to them.
Yeah.
I can't hear you. Are you on mute?
Yeah, Bob is on mute again.
Whoops.
I can hear you.
I said I know Dan has to leave in a second. Sorry, my setup is all messed up. My camera's like dying. I don't even know what's going on. But I think we should mention the standing change before Dan leave, or I guess we'll all leave. But
Ben and I are like tied.
Yeah, I had a good week though.
There is a clear and present leader. The only one in the green for now.
Too much.
I'll take that.
Because these standings flip so fast.
Yeah.
Right now, it's quite a chilling battle, though, between the 2 and the 3. If it comes down,
yeah, we'll be back.
Even if it's not you two, maybe it's me and Dan or me and Jordan. But like, if it comes down, if it comes down the last week and there's like 20 points separating, like second and third, that will be
something.
Right. Electric. Well, and hopefully we get we get some more outrights flowing in here and just the board gets all
hopefully the board gets a little green.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a little more green.
That's fair. I'm pretty confident if it's not Spieth, we will still hit a outright at Augusta.
I would agree.
I think I was talking to, I know Dan's going to go in 1 second, but I just want to clear this up. Just looking ahead to the Masters, I think there's probably a list of maybe 10 guys that can win the tournament. I stand by that. I think 10 guys can win it probably. I mean, there's the occasional like outside name, but like I just have a feeling.
I mean, I disagree because like Justin Rose could definitely just like be Justin Rose.
I don't think.
Well, he missed his chance last year or 2 years ago,
I guess. But
yeah, the FRL.
We can come back to that because I do want to let that sit, and I'll get back to whether I agree with you on that tomorrow when we record. But
that works. But
yeah. A little bit of a shorter one, but that's good. We don't need to take up too much of your Monday night.
Anyway.
We will be back tomorrow. Maybe we'll give our tourney picks tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't even looked.
Give some tourney thoughts.
Not be the Terps.
Congrats to the Hoyas on their first round exit and firing of their coach. Congrats to the NIT appearance for Michigan.
Are you guys going?
Mm-hmm.
That's
enjoy.
Classic. The Terps will be playing for it all.
Oh, God,
Terps
will likely be a round 1 exit, but
I don't know.
Hey, as Iron Eagle said, anything can happen in March.
This is March.
It is
This is
March.
March.
This
Oh.
is March. And
Get
this is the
your
end.
nitroglycerin pills. Yeah. Take care.
Yes.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
Yeah.